Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast for another segment of 20 Random Questions. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and tonight's guest is WBC Female World Champion Mandy Fuentes. How you doing, Mandy?
Hi, thank you for having me on your show.
No problem. How'd you like that introduction?
Oh my goodness, it's treasure for me. Pure gold.
The world champion has a nice ring to it, right?
Definitely does.
So some people might not know, so I just want to kind of run through it real quick. We did at the beginning of the year, we kind of did an interview with you and Dave, who's a former boxing manager. He brought you on. He talked to the WBC. They changed a few things throughout your career that they didn't think were right, and they've made it right. And they basically have made you a WBC world champion.
Yes.
And he presented that to you on my podcast. So since that, kind of take me through what has happened, if anything, since that announcement.
Since that announcement, my goodness, it's been almost a month since that has happened, and believe it or not, I am still in disbelief because, WBC, that's every boxer and male boxer and female boxer's all-time dream, and I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I'm more than happy. I'm actually honored to be part of the WBC family.
So how was the reaction from the interview and then at your gym when they found out about it?
We were speechless. My trainer, he was just, oh my gosh, my fellow, boxing brothers, my boxing family, pretty much. They couldn't believe it, but they couldn't believe it in a way that finally it has happened. As for the most of, the boxing world related, not a lot of people know all the hardcore wars that I went through, and sadly, the decision wasn't made to my favorite, but for the most part, all I could truly say is that I left my name there. I left my name wherever I boxed. I left a memory, not just for inside the ring, but outside the ring, to the fans, to the audience. So that, for me, that's actually even better than announcement of of any title. As long as I did the work, I did the hardcore training. I sweat, I bloodshed everything as possible for me to leave my name up there, and I'm super happy. I'm more than blessed that actually I made my dream come true.
So now, have you celebrated with anybody, your family, your teammates, anything? Have you guys done anything big about it?
Not with my teammates or boxing fam. I can't celebrate too much with them because my little brother, he has an upcoming fight as well. But I know for a fact that he's gonna win. So I actually want double celebration, on my behalf and his behalf. So I just truly can't wait. I'm just saving the best for last.
All right. So besides that, now I've seen videos and stuff. You're still in the gym, right? You're actually you still train and stay in shape, right?
Of course. No, the gym for me is my passion. Inside the ring and out. You see me at the weight training gym, and then you see me at the boxing gym. It's just pretty much part of my life. It's my lifestyle that I've had for the past 17 years.
So do you do any coaching?
I do it. I do some coaching, when I have my off days at my primary job. I work for one of the best actually the best companies in Texas, HEB. And I'm in lead management. I have a lead management role there, which I'm truly beyond blessed and honored to be part of the HEB family as well. So I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay. All right. So are you ready for these random 20 questions?
Definitely, yeah.
All right. Question one. How did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
It all started when my grandfather he he saw me very not rebellious. Well, when it came to something that I wanted to achieve, of course, I was rebellious in that aspect. But he out of out of my siblings, it was just most well, me and my sister and my brother. I was the most athletic, and I wanted to try every sport out there as possible because that was just me. Like when I was growing up in my childhood, I loved staying active, being active. I loved moving around a lot. So why not? I heard about the boxing gym, and one of my childhood friends at that time. I was very close with. She told me, "Well, you know what? Go ahead and why don't you go ahead and try boxing?" I was like, you know what? Just for the workout, of course. Like, I want the challenge. I'm the type of person that I like challenge. You know, when it comes to physical, mental, usage of the body. So I was like, why not? Let's like suit up and try it. And he was the one out of all of my family members. He was the one that actually took me to my trainer, Felix Garcia, at the Los Osleros boxing gym, and that's just for the past 17 years. That's been my home sweet home ever since I was 14.
Wow. Okay. Question two. What boxers have inspired you in your boxing career?
Oh my goodness. One mainly is, well, I have my top three. It's, of course, Julio Cesar Chavez. It's uh, Juan Manuel Marquez. And last but not least, Miguel Cotto.
Okay. I was
Only
gonna say
because,
I think I've seen some pictures of Koto on your social media.
oh yes. I actually I admire him, and I admire, just like in any boxer in general. I admire their hard work, because I know what it is, what they're going through, with the fight camp and not on the fight camp, and in the ring and out. So I do, of course, relate to every single step of the way when it comes to when it comes to fight prep. So him especially, because I don't know if not most people know, my grandfather, he was my cornerman. He was the one always cheering me on, rooting to for me and everything. I had a big opportunity for the female fighting, because back then, it's like how I mentioned, female fighting here in the border here in Laredo, Texas, wasn't heard as much. I wasn't introduced as much because there was no female fighter like ever. I was the first. Not the. I'm not sure if I was the first amateur, but as for the first professional, female fighter, it's me. So it goes way back then. I had that opportunity to fight for Showtime. They're at the Laredo Energy Arena, and at that time it was for one of those fights. And my trainer had told me, well, this is it. This is like your big opportunity. It's Showtime boxing. You get to show your skills, like make yourself look, just as any trainer would tell any fighter, like make yourself look great. So, long story short, that's where I took the risk. I took the chance, but sadly, at that day, well, the day of the weigh-ins, I had a horrible and most devastating phone call. I had to report to the emergency hospital because my grandfather passed away
Oh,
the night before my fight, the night before the big day of my boxing career, myself, the female, everything was just laid out to me. Like, so I had that choice. I had that choice whether to turn down the fight and wait for another one, or actually risk and take the fight and fight with my all, like with the war that I had going on outside the ring and inside the ring. So I took the fight. And gratefully I gained the victory. And if honestly, if it wasn't for I from to me, if it wasn't for that fight, I don't think there would be a Mandy Fuentes. I don't think there would be there would be my career wouldn't have you know uh gone far out. And
Okay, well, I
that's
mean, everything happens for a reason,
yes. Yes, it truly does.
and that moment made you who you ended up being.
Yes, it truly did. And because of him, I'm trying not to like break down. Because of him, he was the one who pushed me to, in life and, growing up, because I was pretty much, I was very, very close to him and my grandmother. May they rest in peace. Because of him, I made it through so many places, not just in the boxing world, but in school, through school, growing up, and of course going back to that because of him. Like he was the only one who believed in me, and him not being there that night was tremendously, devastating for me. It was just, you could ask me about any fight out there, John. I could remember what punches I threw. I could remember what was the most effective punch, what round and whatnot. You asked me about that fight. I don't remember anything. It was just a
See,
big
he might not have been there physically, but he was definitely there.
yeah, yeah. He sure was. I felt him. I felt his presence, and because of him, because of that fight, I risked it, and I went ahead and I took the shot. I took the opportunity. I wasn't gonna turn it down. So my concept to life is never leave, and never live with what if. Because what if, like, we go back to it, we circle back to it. What if I didn't take that fight? Where would I be right now in the boxing world?
Yeah, your
No.
career could have been over right after that.
Yeah, so I went ahead and I just took the opportunity, and never let opportunity slide. No, it's there for a reason. It's there for for a purpose. It's either to make you, or it's not to break you, but it's gonna help you learn to make it.
Okay. All right. Question 3: did you have any hobbies outside the sport of boxing when you were fighting?
Honestly, I honestly didn't have any, to be honest, because my game was like how my trainer always told me and my fellow boxing brothers there and my husband as well, there at the boxing gym. Um, you have to wake up boxing, you have to eat boxing, you have to sleep boxing, and it's the same thing over again. So I pretty much didn't have not a social life, because of course I wasn't a mummy either, but we, like myself and my husband at that time, we were just inside the gym 24/7.
Okay. All right. Question 4: did you have any boxing superstitions?
Boxing superstitions, as in?
Well, some people like to eat certain things before they fight. They want to wrap certain hands or put on a certain shoe first, or wear certain trunks or underpants, or have a special mouth guard for every fight, the same one, or just different things that you thought would help you win, that you had to do the same routine or have the same thing all the time.
Oh, honestly, I did it. The thing before, of course, before every fight, I would pray. I would pray for myself. I would pray for my opponent. I would pray for the outcome. For both of us not to get hurt, and whoever comes out with the victory, uh, congratulations to them. To myself or to her, but mostly I would just go ahead and pray. No, honestly, I didn't have one.
Okay. Question 5. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
That what they don't know about me? Hmm. Well, I'm a lefty. If they didn't know that, I'm a natural lefty, but I fight orthodox.
Okay. Um, Question 6. Who is someone in your life that has inspired you outside the sport of boxing?
Outside the sport of boxing, I actually have two people. It was my grandfather and my husband. He fought a great fight. You know, the three remaining years that he had left, and he promised that he was going to give it his all, and I admire that because just feeling under the weather, it breaks me and it brings me down, but I still have to mom. I still have to wake up to go to the gym. I still have to wake up to take my son to school. So I could only imagine him going through what he went through and still, coming out with a victory. He may not be here, but I know he lives on.
So, if you don't mind, can you just elaborate on that a little bit for the fans that don't know what happened with your husband? Now, he was
Um,
a professional boxer as well, right?
yes, yes, he was a professional boxer. He fought just as much as many fights as I did. 30 fights. I think he had 30 something, and I have 30 fights. Sadly, on October 31st, 2019, that's when we got the horrible call about him getting diagnosed with, you know he ended up at the ER, and we ended up finding out that he had stage 4 liver cancer. And we fought that great fight. He wasn't alone. He wasn't by himself. He had his family members, his loved ones, his boxing fam, and of course he had me by his side. And the doctors, the medical staff went ahead and they gave him only 3 months, but God is greater and God is bigger, and he's the one with the last word. He gave him almost 3 years. So I'm
Wow. Now, is that now? I heard, is that one of the reasons that you retired then after he passed away, because you kind of had to take care of the family and you just
Yes, I we were actually planning after giving birth to my son. He was telling me, go ahead and fight, go ahead and start prepping. Like, you're already there, you're already at weight, you're already. And me going back to the fitness life. I was taught by so I was well educated by my physical trainer, Pete Ramirez, Fitness Saves. Like, because of him, like, I was encouraged to encourage others, like my husband and like my family members, to stay fit, and to actually, save themselves by staying fit. And so I had that routine already. And he told me, why don't you just go ahead and fight? I was like, no, because I have to fight with you this fight. And he didn't want to. He wanted me to fight. And it's like, no, I'm going to take care of you before I take care of myself in that aspect.
okay. All right. Question 7. Who is your favorite Disney character?
Disney character. Oh, well, this has to go. I'm gonna have to go with Pocahontas.
Okay.
Pocahontas, because she is a wild spirit. She's a free. Her characteristics in the movie, just I resemble a lot to her in that aspect. And fun fact, I actually am part Native American because of my dad's side. So I'm third generation Apache. So that with that even being said, like, that's why I choose her more than anything.
Okay. Question 8. If you were granted 3 wishes, how would you use them?
How would I use them? 3 wishes. The first wish is to see my loved ones again in heaven. My second wish is to see, my Lord and Savior Jesus. And my last wish is to save the world.
Okay. Question 9. What's something that you're very passionate about besides the sport of boxing?
Fitness. Fitness and helping others reach their goal, inside the gym, out. As I mentioned, I work for one of the best companies here in Texas, and that's something that is a very, very important initiative there for our company. So I'm passionate about making somebody smile. With just making somebody smile, it could mean a lot to them as much as it could mean to me. But as long as I know that I put my part, making their day, for me, again, that's treasure.
Okay. Question 10. Can you tell me an interesting story out of your boxing career?
Interesting story. Mm. Oh, I have so many. um, well, the first one of the first one is I had, like how I had mentioned, was my grandfather's, fight. My second one was another big test, to see where how prepared I was, mentally and physically for the life of boxing. I had signed a contract for to fight for Canelo, back in 2011, I believe, and the fight was contracted by 6 rounds. And my trainer, he had a routine, and he had a specific procedure on how to build his fighters. So he wanted me to fight that second fight of 6 rounds before he jumped me to the eighth to 8 round, like the 8 rounder fights. And he's like, well, this is Canelo, like this is another big opportunity. Let's go ahead and take this fight, and I know you're ready, like let's sign and let's do it. I was like, okay. The moment that we got there at the Canelo fight, at the Canelo Promotions fight, we were in the weigh-ins. They were announcing my name, and as soon as I got off the scale, of course, we, like, both me and my opponent, we both flexed, and we were like doing the face-off picks and whatnot. And they're scheduled, and they were like, they announced both our names, and they're like scheduled for 8 round fights. And I just turned around and I looked like at my trainer. I was like, wait, whoa. I thought we said 6, right? So going back to that, he talked to the commission and everything. They're like, it's because if she doesn't do the 8 rounds, like, I think her fight could fall. Well, it's all on you, Fuentes. Like, what do you want to do? Like, how are you gonna take it? Or, like, I can't get it. I'm fine. I'm more than fine. Like, let's do it. And that's when I tested myself. I think that fight was I think it was a draw, but man, did we both give a heck of a show that night? It was amazing. I had I had so many people, and I don't even like to entitle them fans. I just, my family of boxing, just the audience, they greeted us and they gave us a very, very big, warm welcome, and a very warm, farewell. And it took me like about an hour to leave the premise, to leave like the place. And because of that fight, that's where I always kept testing myself. It's like, you know what? I always told myself, if, the person who I needed most at my most important fight has left, what else can life test me on? So that was my mindset every single fight. So that's why I
Wow.
trained harder every single day.
Okay. Question 11. Who was your favorite opponent to fight?
My favorite opponent to fight, honestly, it was Elisa Estrada. She she not only gave me the experience to fight a hell of a fighter, because that's a fighter that she is. But she gave me they gave me that opportunity to not only represent us females, because I believe that fight was the first female fight to ever go live at the Velasco Theater. But we're putting women on the map, and I am actually putting women on the map in my hometown.
Okay. All right. Question 12. If you could be any flower, what flower would you be?
A rose, white rose,
Okay.
a white rose.
Question 13. What is your proudest moment out of your boxing career?
My proudest moment, being recognized by the WBC, being
Right.
recognized by the WBC after 10 years.
Okay. Question 14. If you could be on the cover of any magazine, what magazine would you want to be on the cover of?
Oh my goodness. I have actually two. Fun fact: nobody knows. I don't know if the majority of the people know, but I was a Budweiser girl while I was fighting. So I have that feminine, side of me as well. It's either Sports Illustrated or the Ring.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure if people have been on your Facebook page, they're quite aware that you have the feminine side.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, question 15. Who is the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
For sparring, well, the majority of my whole career, I always fought with men, sparred with men. And the hardest puncher that I could say that ever prepped me up, ever gave me that confidence to keep striving was my husband. He was a hard puncher. And I know he wasn't punching me as strong as if he were to spar a male, but, because of him, I actually grew from there.
Okay, and so and some fans might not know who your husband was, so mention him by name.
Eddie Ramirez, and his ring name was Pitbull.
Okay. All right, question 16. Are you artistic in any way with your hands outside the ring as far as like building things, painting, drawing, photography, mechanics, anything like that?
Honestly, I'm not. The only skilled thing, and I know how to do with my hands, is just the art of boxing.
Okay. All right. Question 17. Who are some of the musical artists that you listen to when you train?
When I train, oh, it's this is super easy. Tupac. Tupac was my husband's favorite rapper, and we always jammed out to him. And it's pretty much it. I'm with the old school rap and old school, music. So I'm gonna have to go with Tupac.
Okay. Question 18. If you could do the voice of any animated animal character, what animal would you choose?
What animal would I choose? I'm gonna have to go with animal. I would have to go with Minnie Mouse.
No, no, no. Like
What do
not
you?
an actual character that exists. So like if they were making an animated film and your
Uh-huh.
voice was going to be the voice of an animated
Oh,
animal,
okay.
so what animal do you think your voice would be good with?
Mm, tricky. I don't know, maybe a big feline, a tiger.
Okay.
I'm digging a tiger.
Okay. All right, question 19. If you could bring back someone that is deceased for 1 week, who would you bring back to life?
My husband. To live
Okay.
another week with him. That would be great. That would be an answered prayer.
Okay. Question 20. Why did you box?
I box because this goes back to representing women. This goes back to also recognizing what women can do also. women can do so many things. One of the greatest things is now that I am part of motherhood is becoming a mother. And I always tell every woman out there, whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, make them, pray for it, make it and claim it, and it will be yours. Just like how I did it for the past 17 years. Um, leaving not the sport behind, but leaving my name in the criteria in the category of boxing, best believe it's one of the biggest accomplishments that I ever did in my life. Because if it wasn't for boxing, I don't know where I'd be at. And just like how my ring song would always be "También las mujeres pueden," meaning that women can achieve it too.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time to come on and do the random 20 questions. Once again, newly WBC female world champion. Just to make sure everybody's aware of that. After so long, she finally got that given to her. If you'd like to give a shout out to your gym or say anything to the fans, go ahead.
I would love to give a big shout out to my Los Dos Laredos boxing gym, my trainer, Felix Garcia, my physical trainer, Pete Ramirez. Because of them too, I am where I'm at right now. And shout out to las mujeres, because también las mujeres pueden.
All right. And with that, the truth has spoken. Hold on.